My name is Emily Horlocker, and I will be doing a presentation on Flannery O'Connor, one of the finest writers of the 20th century. She was mostly a short story writer, though she did have a few novels that she wrote. She was born March 25th, 1925, in Savannah, Georgia, to the parents Regina Klein and Edward F. O'Connor. In her young life, she was a bit of a daddy's girl, and that relationship was very strong, very important to her. At age 7, she became famous for teaching a chicken how to walk backwards. Some people came to her house and filmed her for it, and they created a video. She referred to that moment in her life as the highlight of her life. If you would have asked her what she wanted to be when she was little, good chances are she probably would have said a cartoonist. She moved to Milledgeville, Georgia in 1938, and her father passed away in 1941 of lupus. It was her father's sickness that moved the family to Milledgeville, and it tore her apart when her father passed away when she was about the age of 16. Losing her father was among one of the hardest things of her life, and affected her very deeply for many years. You can't mention Flannery O'Connor without mentioning that she was Catholic, born and raised. It affected her writing quite a lot, and in her later adult life, she would attend Mass as often as she could, which was often daily. She had Catholic background. Quote, "For I am no disbeliever in spiritual purpose, and no vague believer. I see from the standpoint of Christian orthodoxy. This means that for me, the meaning of life is centered in our redemption by Christ, and what I see in the world, I see in its relation to that. I don't think that this is a position that can be taken halfway, or one that is particularly easy in these times to make transparent in fiction." Adult life. Some of her most active moving years was between the years 1938 and 1951. School life. She graduated from Peabody High School in 1942, and that same year she enrolled at Georgia State College for Women and graduated in 1945. From there she went to the University of Iowa, where she graduated in 1947 with a master's degree in fine arts. In 1948, she moved to Yaddo, a prestigious artist's colony. But while she was there, one of the residents got accused of being a communist spy, and she didn't stay long after that. She left Yaddo and moved to Connecticut to stay with the friends Sally and Robert Fitzgerald. In 1950, she was diagnosed with lupus, the same illness that took her father, and from there she moved back to Milledgeville with her mother. Her first published work was a short story called Geranium, which was published during her college life in a magazine. Her first novel was in 1952, Wise Blood. Her published works include A Good Man is Hard to Find and Other Short Stories, The Violent Bear It Away, and Everything That Rises Must Converge, along with many other things that she wrote. Critics sometimes called her the maker of the grotesques, as well as other things. She had a very bold style and had very deep things as well as fun things. Quotes and humor. Here are some quotes by Flannery O'Connor. "When in Rome, do as ye done in Milledgeville. Conviction without experience makes for harshness. The truth doesn't change according to our ability to stomach it. Anybody who has survived his childhood has enough information about life to last him the rest of his days. Faith is what someone knows to be true, whether they believe it or not. I am not afraid that the book will be controversial. I'm afraid it will not be controversial. The basis of art is truth. both in matter and in mode. She won 3 O. Henry Prize Awards over the course of her life and even after her life. Her first O. Henry Award she received in 1957, then another in 1963, a year before her death, and another in 1965, a year after her death. During her life, she received a grant from the Ford Foundation to help her continue writing. In 1972, she received the National Book Award, almost 12 years after her death. In later life, through lupus, she lost some of the ability in her legs, and she had to use crutches to get around. But even still, she was able to give lectures. She went traveling the world. She even got to meet the Pope in 1958. And she was able to help the farm with her mother. They raised peacocks and many other animals. However, she died before the age of 40, having a wonderful career put short by a genetic disease. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for watching. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask me, though feel free to check my references. There's a lot of good information, and they've got them. So thank you again, and have a wonderful day. References? Pictures from